Email Parser. Does your business receive leads by email? If yes, then you're not alone. Zilker Travels also receives a lot of their leads over email. Emails often come in via their website contact form and sometimes from a third-party agent. If your leads come in from various sources, and email is one of these sources, it might be difficult for you to identify the sender email as you receive numerous inquiries, offers, documents, etc. over email. You'll also have to perform tedious manual data entry to add these leads to CRM. This is where an email parser can help you. An email parser enables you to extract data from incoming emails and sync it with Zoho CRM. As you can see, using an email parser allows you to automate the process of adding records by extracting information from incoming emails. The field values are mapped to the information in the email. The data for the preferred destination, the number of travelers, and other information is automatically added to the CRM. Once Email Parser is set up, you'll have a fully automated lead addition system, and you can bid goodbye to manual data entry. You can see how the fields on the Zilker Travels website contact form are mapped to the fields in CRM. The values for the fields are obtained from the email. Let's look at what's required for creating and configuring an email parser. We'll look at how to create an email parser, configure parser details, send email to the parser address, update CRM fields, and assign a record owner and approved email addresses. Configure parsing details. For your incoming email to be parsed within CRM, it needs to follow a specific parsing template. There are two ways to create this template. 1. You can send an email to the parser address, and 2. Copy and paste the email content. You can create an email parser for leads, contacts, accounts, and custom modules. You can set up to 20 parsers, but you can only enable 10 parsers at a time. When you decide to create an email parser, ensure that you have a clear idea for which module you'll be automating the process of adding leads into CRM for. Once you decide to create an email parser, you'll have to create a parsing template, and your incoming emails will have to follow this template for the automated addition of records into the CRM system. Let's look at creating a parsing template. You'll need to prepare a parsing template for your incoming emails that they'll have to follow. In this example, we'll see the content of the template is name, number of travelers, and email address. You'll have to add sample data while creating this template. This is because your CRM needs to understand the type of data that it will receive through the email parser. Once you create a parser template, you'll have to send it through the parser email address. A parser email address is generated by Zoho CRM. The emails received to this address will be parsed by the email parser. You can create your parsing template on a notepad and just copy and paste the content in the email parser setup. Let's look at the types of parsing templates that you can create. Key value pair. When you're creating a parsing template, you should keep in mind that the parser needs to be able to distinguish between the field name and the field value. A key value pair helps it to do so. A key donates a detail, something like the first name, and a value is a reference to the key. You can see that the name is a key, while the value of the name is Regina. Here, name and Regina is a key value pair. A key value pair is separated by a delimiter. Delimiters help the parser distinguish between the key and the value. Zoho CRM supports colon, equals, and hyphen as delimiters. Paragraph format. If the email that needs to be parsed has information in paragraphs, you use the paragraph format. A whole paragraph can be mapped to a field in CRM. There's no need for delimiters here, as the paragraphs serve this function. You can now see the process of sending an email to parser email address. When an email is drafted following a parsing template, then you can send it to an approved email address. An approved email address is an email address that is allowed to send an email that adheres to the parser standards. The parser email is now in the inbox of the approved email address. For the email to be successfully parsed, It has to be sent to the parser email address that was generated by the CRM. In this stage, the parser email is forwarded to the parser email address. The email parser process takes place here, and the data is automatically added into CRM. When you create an email parser, you can configure it in such a way that you can update CRM fields when the parser is executed. For example, for leads that are generated from email parser, you can update the lead source to email. The lead source gets updated as records are created. You must assign a record owner for records that are created through the email parser. This process is compulsory. In Zoho CRM, when a lead is manually entered by a user, that user becomes the record owner. The user that creates an email parser can configure a record owner of their choice. This record owner can be assigned on the basis of either a user or a profile. An approved email address is essential, as it will be the email account which receives the emails that need to be parsed. The approved email address can be any user's email address or a group of users who will be receiving emails that need to be parsed. In this case, Amelia Burrows will be receiving all of Zilker Travel's leads in emails that will later be parsed and entered into the CRM. It's important to remember that the parser email address will only accept emails from approved email addresses. This prevents any junk or spam emails from passing through the parser and to your CRM, and so that you'll only have legitimate records. Let's recap what we've learned so far. Email parser automates adding records into CRM by extracting information from incoming emails. All incoming emails need to follow a specific template in order to be parsed. There are two ways to create a parser template. You can either send an email to the parser address or copy and paste the email content. You can either have a key value pair or paragraph format on your parsing template. You need to configure approved email addresses from which emails are accepted by the parser address. A parser address is a unique email address generated by Zoho CRM. When you create a parser, you can do the following. You can update CRM fields for the records created using a parser rule, and you need to assign a record owner.